Dawn of the Planet of the Apes. I had an issue with the title. I'm like, I don't know. It feels a little close to Rise, doesn't it? But I guess this is the Dawn of the Planet of the Apes. So we flash ahead. How many years? Oh, wait, no, it'll say in the next thing. I will read the thing right now, Logan. Gary Oldman, Andy Serkis, Jason Clarke, and Kerry Russell star in this thrilling next chapter of the Planet of the Apes. It is 2026, and humanity has been pushed to near extinction by a deadly virus. When a group of survivors, desperate to find a new source of power, travels into the woods near San Francisco, they discover a highly evolved community of intelligent apes led by Caesar, Andy Serkis. Two species form a fragile peace agreement, but dissension grows, and the groups find themselves hurling toward an all-out war. So I was really, my voice just cracked there. I was really pumped for this one, Logan. How about you?
No, this one, I did not see this one in theaters, so I did wait till like it came on HBO or something like that.
No.
I couldn't even rented it or when it came out like on DirecTV or something like that.
Yeah.
But this one, I don't want to show my hand too early, but this one is amazing.
Yes.
This one is this story. It's so crazy because this was the movie that we got is so awesome, and we weren't even going to. This wasn't even the movie that they were going to shoot. That's the crazy part about it.
What were they going to do? Can you speak on that? Because I didn't look that part up.
So it was actually going to be the evolution of the apes, and Caesar was just actually going to take a back step, and he was just going to follow the tribe. And then when Matt Reeves took over, he said, "I want to do this movie, but I don't like the script." And he's like, "Can I rewrite the script?" And they said, "That's fine, but you don't get any more dates. Like you still have to put the final product."
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So you can rewrite it from scratch if you want to, but you get no extra time. You still have to have the product done when the product was supposed to be done. And he rewrote the entire script. And the thing is, he is a huge Planet of the Apes fan.
Yeah.
Ever since childhood. And this is like one of his dream jobs. And you could tell because this storyline, how he tells it I use the word fantastic a lot, but I can't say anything better than fantastic because this movie, I was really shocked how good it was.
Yeah. I think it's one of those cases where, because getting back to Rise, how people were like, yeah, I mean, it was okay, but that next one was even better. Like, it is tough when like your first movie is really good and then your follow-up is like one of the most amazing things ever. Like, so some people will be like, Terminator 1's it's all right, but Terminator 1's also a really good movie. It just so happens that the sequel is like the biggest cultural thing ever.
Oh yeah, and then at the time I didn't even know who Matt Reeves was, to be honest. I mean, I had seen Let Me In and I had seen Cloverfield, but I wasn't a big fan of Cloverfield. But then he does this. I'm like, okay, this guy, he's got something here because this is awesome.
You're telling me you didn't watch every episode of Felicity?
No,
the show starring Kerry Russell, which he worked on?
I have not seen every episode. No.
You're not a big Felicity fan?
No, I'm not a Felicity gal.
Hey, look, he co-wrote Under Siege 2 Dark Territory.
That is the best one.
Oh, God damn it. Now we can't do a what is the best Under Siege movie. Thanks a lot, Logan. You ruined it. Okay, I actually really like Cloverfield. I really enjoy Cloverfield. Oh, he also directed The Pallbearer. And I want to mention The Pallbearer starring what's his face from Friends, David Schwimmer and Gwyneth Paltrow and Michael Rappaport. Me and Joe last year, we did a Patreon exclusive live stream where I found a box of old video store posters.
I remember that one. Yeah.
I found one for The Pallbearer. So I can't remember The Pallbearer that much, but Cloverfield I actually really liked. I get why people wouldn't like it.
I didn't like the found footage aspect of it. That's the only thing I didn't like about it. If it was shot, because I don't get motion sickness, but that movie just made me very eerie to my stomach, and I just didn't enjoy the watch.
I get bad motion sickness, not usually from watching movies though, ironically, but it's one of those cases where I'm like, I really love that movie. I think it's great. But if someone said they couldn't get into it because it made them sick, I'm like, I can't argue with that. That is what it is. I still to this day have never seen Let Me In. because I love the original so much. And I'm like,
Oh, yeah, let the
why
right one
are
in.
we?
Yeah.
I apparently it is really, really good.
Oh, yeah,
Uh,
and that's one of those movies you have to watch with the original audio. You can't watch the dub version. If you watch the version, it ruins it
oh
to
yeah, the original Let the Right. I mean,
yeah.
his Let Me In, which I still haven't watched. I have heard it's actually a really good remake.
No, it is good, and
Yeah,
it's there are scenes that, like, obviously, like, you can tell he tried to be pretty true to the original.
yeah,
It just was that thing of like, "Well, let's make an American version."
yeah. I might do a what is the best Let the Right One In, because they did a mini series like a year or two ago.
Oh, shit, I didn't know that.
But I don't know if that's just like a more accurate thing for the book. But anyway, so yeah, this was the second movie I saw of his. Maybe I watched the Paul Bear in the 90s. I don't remember. And I was impressed. This movie is really good. I love like how quiet the movie is for long
Yes.
periods of time. We are with the apes for a long time before any of the humans show up. And Caesar managed to get a wife. He had a son. He has his wife is Cornelia. His son is Blue Eyes, and his
Yeah.
younger son is Cornelius, which of course is a reference to Cornelius from the original. But yeah, he's leading the tribe. They're wearing war paint now. One of them they're starting to play with clothes because like the one has like little braids in her hair and stuff, so they're getting a little bit more smart. They're
The
in their
doctors the doctors
yeah,
have the thing around their face, they're like, I don't know,
yeah,
whatever it is, like,
yeah.
and it's
They're
not bones or something. I don't think it's bones, but you know what I
yeah,
mean. It's like some kind of like
yeah.
doctor mask.
They're in their stone age apparently.
Oh, gotcha.
So yeah, they've been living in the woods. Humanity died. They mentioned in the beginning, they're like, we haven't even seen them in like 2 years. Like there's no 10 years ago it went to ship, and in the last 2 years we haven't even seen them. They might all be gone. And they're still hanging out in like San Francisco, I think.
And that intro does a perfect lead into the movie.
Yeah.
Oh, it is
Oh,
bone chilling.
it shows the map from the previous one, but yeah, again, it's got like somber music and like the radio talking about this virus spreading, and then it just gets like you see the lights go off. Like that is a cool way to bring people up to speed.
Oh yeah.
Um, so yeah, they're hanging out in California, and then they run across some humans, who are they're just survivors. They weren't wiped out in the virus. I guess they had a natural immunity, although we find out that maybe no one has a natural immunity to this.
I
And
had
then we
some questions.
find out later maybe some actually have the natural
Well, yeah,
immunity.
that really confused. I will say I did have to like literally like after I saw Kingdom, I had to look
Mhm.
things up. I was like, okay, I'm really kind of confused here for a
I
second.
think I know where they're going with that.
Yeah, I think yeah.
Yeah. So at this point, they bump into the apes, and it like since it's only been 10 years, there are some humans that know what happened. They're like, yeah, there was a virus, it was man-made. The apes just kind of got it and spread it, didn't realize that was happening. Um, but then there's other people that are like this guy on the left. I forget his name. He was the bad guy in one season of Arrow. He's just like the apes spread it. It's like, yeah, but it wasn't their fault. So like the humans have different ideas of the apes.
Yeah.
They know that there's smart apes out there and they're afraid of them. Mostly just because of the disease, but also it's like, what if they try to like mess with us? What will happen?
Hmm.
But this guy, Jason Clark, actually wants to work with them. His whole thing is, I want to get into your area. He's telling Caesar, "Is like, I want to get to your area because there's a nuclear reactor and I want to turn it on so we can have power again."
Oh no,
'Cause
it's the dam. It's
the
the dam.
dam, yeah,
Yeah,
the
yeah, yeah.
dam, which is the dam, the reactor, and everything. Funny enough, damn it, I forgot to get the picture. The control panel for the whole dam.
Yeah.
I actually got to see that control panel. I went, and when I was in New Orleans years ago working on that TV show, we went to a prop warehouse
Oh,
and
cool.
they had like all the control panels from Dawn of the Planet of the Apes like
Oh,
there. And
nice.
I like took a picture and I got to like hit all the buttons and stuff. It was cool as hell. I also got Logan, you'll never believe it. I got to see the same outhouse that was used for Django Unchained and Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter. The same one. It was there, Logan. Now, when you watch those movies and you see those outhouses, you're gonna be like, Tony was there.
I mean, I can't believe you took that off my bucket list, Tony. That's on my bucket list.
Well, I mean, look up a prop warehouse in New Orleans. I forget the name of it. But maybe you'll find that outhouse if it's still there. So there's this uneasy alliance because like Caesar grew up with humans. He knows they could be bad, but he doesn't like hate them. He's cautious of them because he knows they're not all good.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing is he's got this. He knows the humans closest to him can
Yeah.
be great, but then he
Yeah.
also knows those could be isolated incidents. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And he just has a more. He has an understanding that none of them have. Even
Mm,
Maurice himself, he only knows humans to be bad from the
yeah.
surface. What's so like he's got this uh perception of humans that all the other apes can't relate to, and he's trying to show them they need help and we should help them because we
Mm.
need to kind of work together.
And also, he's like, they do have weapons. They could come after us and
Oh no,
like kill us
100%.
all.
He's smart. He knows. I don't know how he knows what like real war is, but he
Yeah.
is. I guess I
He
don't know. He has
probably
his.
yeah,
Go ahead.
probably read about it. He probably they probably watched movies. He learned a lot from just hanging out with them.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Yeah. But yeah, he doesn't want that to happen. So he's like kind of extending the olive branch a little bit. Um, when I first saw this, I thought Gary Oldman was going to be like the main bad guy
Mhm.
just from like the previews and stuff, but he kind of isn't.
I was going to bring that up. He's not. He's not a bad guy.
He's
He isn't.
really
He's just
not.
misinformed. That's it.
He is misinformed, and that's another thing. You can be misinformed. You could probably do the wrong thing, but like you have no knowledge that you're doing it. Because he hasn't really interacted with them. He doesn't know what they're trying to. That's at the end where Jason Clark's like, no, you have to understand. They're trying to help us. He's like, what are you talking about? They just killed a bunch of us. Like, not all apes. Hashtag not all apes. Not all apes.
Well, that's even like with Koba. He
Yes.
the only thing that literally makes him evil is the fact that he shot Caesar.
Mhm.
He had,
Well, he does other evil things too.
but besides that, like the other evil things that he does, I can understand with them reasoning with that because of the fear of the humans. But
Yeah.
the fact that he tried to use shooting Caesar's
Mm.
death as like a plot device to get everyone to follow him. That's like that. I think that's like feel like that's the only action where I'm like, okay, well, that is evil.
Yeah.
Everything else I can kind of understand and get away with, but
Yeah.
that's bad.
And
That's not good.
speaking of Koba, I really love Koba's evolution in this film.
Oh yeah.
He is the antagonist in this. But I like the beginning, like when there are no humans around, he is totally fine. He
Oh
gets
yeah.
along he gets along with Caesar. They're laughing, they're having a great time, they're like bros. It's literally just when humans show up, that's where everything hits the fan. And it's a lesson that Caesar needs to learn in the film because he says it himself. He's like, I thought apes were better, but until this whole thing with Koba, like Koba's hatred was so strong that it made him betray Caesar. It put the apes, or he ended up killing apes who
Oh yeah.
didn't agree with him. And he's like, wow, we actually are like now that we're becoming more like them, we also have a lot of their bad negative traits.
Yeah, and then also with another thing that I really like and how they worked on was
Mm.
I liked how Rocket was another still good character, major, I
Yeah.
would say a major character in the ape community, where you had this one that didn't like Caesar, but now he understands who Caesar is and he is there to serve and follow Caesar. I
Yes.
really like how they built the apes' relationships. It wasn't just Caesar. Every ape kind of got their own moment to shine.
Yeah.
And I really feel like that was the driving force because these movies do circle the apes and they are the main characters. And they
Yes.
do a good job at making sure that each ape gets their time to shine and has their own backstory.
Yeah. And you can kind of see where Koba's coming from because out of all of those apes, he had the worst experience with humans.
Oh, yeah.
He
Oh,
only knows
100%.
that, like, it was fine before he was like smart, where he's like, I guess this just is what it is. I hope I get a cookie. But then when he got smart, he's like, no, this is wrong. And I hate
Oh,
that.
yeah.
I
Where
hate
he does
everything
that
about this.
human work,
Yeah.
human work, human work.
Yeah. And then he's like, I do like how he tries to like make dissension. He's just like, Caesar likes humans more than apes, and Caesar doesn't enjoy that. But yeah, Koba, I don't know whether it's the specific virus he got. He doesn't have the benefit of like foresight and the
Yeah.
consequences of your actions and everything like that. And it leads to an amazing showdown. The cinematography in this is great.
Oh, that mixed with the music is
The music is
amazing.
phenomenal. Who
Yeah.
was it? It was Michael Giacchino, right?
I didn't I all I know I when I watched like a little
Yes.
behind thing with him doing the music, he said he definitely wanted to stay true to Jerry Goldsmith's original score. And you can tell when they're like doing the
Yeah.
chasing scenes and they're like dun 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 dun
Yeah.
dun dun.
I noticed in the theater when I was watching it, me and my sister saw this in the theater as we're watching it. When they're pulling up on the human compound, there's
Yes,
like,
yes, 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 yes.
I'm like, oh my
Yeah.
god, that's the old music. I'm like, oh, that's clever.
Yeah.
And like now more of them are riding horses. It's cool to see how they're going. One thing I want them to eventually explain. Hold on, let me do a science check real quick.
Are you going to bring up how a gorilla gets on the back of a horse? Because I
No,
looked
not
that up and I don't think that's realistic at all.
no. Okay, so it's the simian flu. Were monkeys and other primates also affected, or is it just great apes and humans that are affected by this virus?
So I know when we get to war,
Mm.
that what's called it explains that more than just the ones that were there.
Yeah, but that's just apes. I'm talking like so.
Oh, gotcha.
We're,
You're saying
we're
oh, like
all,
a bird or something,
no.
or
All right, so we're only seeing it affect gorillas, chimpanzees,
yeah.
orangutans, and bonobos,
Oh, like
which
no,
are
like
great apes.
monkeys.
But I'm talking about like monkeys, which are not
Oh,
apes,
gotcha.
like baboons and
Got it,
like
got it, got it,
old
got it.
world monkeys. Like, what does the flu do? Unfortunately, like the movie is taking place in America where there are no native monkeys. They're all in South America. I mean, I guess someone might have had a pet, but I don't know how it's going to last in the winter time. They're not as built for survival as the other apes. But it is something I want to see. Even the original, I'm like, okay, well, I know what happened to the apes, but what about like all the other primates? Because it's not just human and apes. What are the other ones up to? So that's something I'd like to see at some point. Like, what's a super smart baboon look like? Probably Rafiki from The Lion King. Now that I think about it, but yeah, a great showdown, great cinematography. I love. I think he does this in a couple films. Where Matt Reeves will just like put the camera on something and it'll
Mhm.
follow that object. That whole thing with the tank, where the tank is constantly spinning at the
Oh,
end,
yeah. That's great.
shooting, and seeing Koba riding a horse with two machine guns was cool as hell. I do like when Caesar goes back to his old home and sees the window again, and he finds the camera with James
Yeah.
Franco. They got a little James Franco cameo in there. Real quick, hold on. Yes, Johanna will be in the next episode. I see her in there. We're about to do super chats, but let me signal boost this. Johanna will be back in the store next week, although I don't know why, because I don't know what the reason was our channel was deleted, but probably Johanna and her politics. That's my theory. But yeah, so Dawn was incredible. It's got like like a really sad ending where it's like, man, this was the moment for humans and apes to work together, and through a
Oh, yeah.
series of like assholes on both sides and miscommunication, it all went to shit. And like he sees her at the end. I love that moment with him and Jason Clark, where it's like, nope, war has begun. Unfortunately, apes started it, and humans aren't going to stop because they call the North. They find like a northern army, and they're like, we're being attacked by apes.
Yeah.
They're killing us. You need to stop them. And I love that moment where Jason Clark's like, we really thought we had a chance.
Well, because that's what he says. He's like, humans will not forgive apes.
Yes.
Yeah.
And like Gary Oldman kills himself to stop the apes because they're all
Yeah.
up on the tower. And he's like, they're trying to stop. He's like, I don't believe you. Boom. I'm saving the human race. And like there's that great moment where just Jason Clark just fades away like into the darkness. And it's basically saying, like, yep, that was it. That was the end of peace. And then Caesar had to like win back the trust of his apes. Because even though they're all smart, he's just like, they won't follow me if I'm weak. I'm like, you guys haven't evolved past that? Like, you still aren't recognizing the smartest one should probably lead. You're still doing the strongest.
I will say Jason Clarke does a great job in this film.
Yeah, yeah. Kerry Russell's also really good in this.
Yeah, he's I mean, and then is it Toby Cabell? Is it Cabell?
I'd say Kebbell, but yeah.
Kebbell? Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, he has not been in a lot of great stuff. He's been in a lot of stuff. But like
You don't
I will
think
say
Fan Forstick was good? You thought that was bad? He was a great Doctor Doom.
I will say I didn't mind him in that. I didn't mind him in that. I
My
don't
favorite-
like even he was in Rock and Roller and stuff like that. Like
Yeah.
whenever he's on screen, I do like his acting and I think he's good. And I think he did a great job being Koba.
Yeah. You know, it's funny. Andy Serkis played King Kong and then Caesar. Toby Kebbell played Koba, and he ended up playing the motion capture Kong for Kong Skull Island.
Oh.
Just in that movie. And then, much like Andy Serkis, he also played an additional character in that film. Because I was like, wow, why'd they kill Toby Kebbell off so early in this? And I didn't realize he was also playing Kong.